Acts chapter 10. Peter is about to be prepared to meet Cornelius. Now, there was a certain man in Caesarea named Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band. He was in charge of soldiers. He was an important man, a very well-respected man, a devout man, it says in verse 2, and one that feared God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to God always. He saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of God coming to him and saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked on him, he was afraid and said, What is it, Lord? And he said unto him, Thy prayers and thine alms are come up for a memorial before God. And now send to Joppa and call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter. He lodges with one Simon a tanner, whose house is by the seaside. He shall tell thee what thou oughtest to do. And so he's instructed to go and find Peter. Verse 7, And when the angel which spake unto Cornelius was departed, he called 2 of his household servants, and a devout soldier of them which waited on him constantly. And when he had declared all these things unto them, he sent them to Joppa. And on the morrow, as they went on their journey and drew nigh unto the city, Peter went up upon the housetop to pray about the 6th hour. Peter was about to be prepared to meet Cornelius and to learn some things that he needed to learn. Peter was a very important man at the beginning of the small flock, of the little flock, and respected and looked up to, and miracles had been done by him and so forth. And he still had a lot to learn. And so we should always be ready to learn things that we haven't learned yet. And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance, and saw heaven opened, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet knit at the 4 corners, and let down to earth, wherein were all manner of 4-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. And it came to pass, and there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. And the voice spake unto him again, the 2nd time, What God hath cleansed, that call thou not common. And this was done thrice, that's 3 times. And the vessel was received up again into heaven. Now, while Peter doubted in himself what this vision which he had seen should mean, behold, the men which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house, and stood before the gate, and called, and asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, were lodged there. While Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek thee. Arise, therefore, and get thee down, and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. Then Peter went down to the men which were sent unto him from Cornelius, and said, Behold, I am he whom ye seek. What is it? What cause wherefore ye are come? What is the cause wherefore ye are come? And they said, Cornelius the centurion, a just man, one that feareth God, and of good report among all the nations of the Jews, was warned from God by a holy angel to send for thee into his house, and to hear words of thee. Now Peter obeyed. Then called he them in, and lodged them. And on the morrow Peter went away with them. and certain brethren from Joppa accompanied him. And we'll just finish it there and continue on a little later on the next verse, which is verse 24.